The Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.
This is the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com. If you want to call the show, it's not too hard. 630-403-5200. That's 630-403-5200. And on the Illinois Center for Broadcasting hotline, we have Mike North, who is heard every morning on the Fox Sports Daybreak from 5 to 8 a.m. on Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Ryan? Ready to go, baby? Having some fun. How you been?
I'm doing really good. So, what is your take on Richard Sherman overall?
Well, I think that Richard Sherman, I knew what he was going to do after he flew off the handle. It wasn't how long he talked, it's what he said. And I knew that he'd quiet down in week 2 and there'd be more storylines. So he was predictable. I think he saw a little tape of himself. I think his teammates got to him and said, you hogged all the action after the game like we had nothing to do with it. I've seen other teams and other players fire on him, guys like Kaepernick and Darrelle Revis. But my take on him was, he was trying to be something that he isn't. And the excuse of him going to Stanford so he can act like a jerk didn't fly with me, to be honest with you. I think that no matter where you go to school, you should have a little bit of class. But, it's pretty tough after a game like that also. So I gave him a little bit of rope as far as that's concerned.
Hey, it's Ryan Stuprich here, and looking forward to the Super Bowl on Sunday. We'll have the Broncos and Seahawks. And in your opinion, what does Peyton Manning have to do to get involved with his offense for the Broncos to come out on top?
Well, I think he's just going to do what he always does, Ryan. He's going to be basically very, very careful. He does, throw the ball up like Sherman said the other day, and especially conditions that aren't conducive to good passing. He will throw the ball up a little bit. You got to be there for the opportunity. But I think they're going to have a turnover-free type of situation. I think that it's going to be a real good football game. I don't think he's going to take a lot of chances. I think he's going to work the ball down the field. I don't think you're going to see a lot of 30, 40-yard passes. I think he's going to go 7, 8 yards, maybe out of the backfield to Marino. But what he's going to bring is the calm to a team that basically, along with Seattle, has no Super Bowl experience. Denver's got 4 players, and Seattle's got 0.
Who does Peyton Manning need to get involved with the most for them to come out on top?
I like Decker. Eric Decker's the guy to me. They're talking about Demaryius Thomas, I think, and they're talking about some other guys. I like Eric Decker. I think Welker's going to be very, very well accounted for. I think that he'll go according to matchups once again. But Decker, even when there's a tough matchup, seems to get a pretty good handle on it, and it seems like Manning basically trusts him a lot more than he trusts anybody else, regardless of matchup.
Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson, who does he need to target the most in order for the Seahawks to come out on top?
I think Marshawn Lynch. I think he just keeps giving the ball, feed the beast, see what happens. Even if they start out slow, if they start out 7, 8 in the box, which I think Denver might try to do, maybe confuse him a little bit because he's still only a second-year quarterback, but a very, very good one. He will try to minimize turnovers. He throws for very few yards, but he also has very few turnovers, guys. So I think Marshawn Lynch is going to be the guy, and if they can keep the game close, if they're in the ball game, you can feed the beast all the way into the fourth quarter.
Which coach is going to come with a better game plan, Pete Carroll or John Fox?
Well, I think Pete Carroll will, because John Fox is not the guy that will make up the game plan. I think that it's going to be Peyton Manning. Does he have his ideas? Yeah, but Peyton Manning really is the coach on the field, and you could say you're going to have 3, 4 runs. You could try to script plays. I think they have an idea what they want to do, but I think the offensive coordinator and Manning are the guys that probably instill the game plan. Fox makes it more or less a defensive type of call with him.
How good of a game is Wes Welker going to have it in the Super Bowl? Will we see him redeem himself?
Well, I don't think he's got anything basically not to as far as redeeming himself, as far as what happened at New England and his deal with Belichick. Of course, he's had some concussions, but he's also got the most yards per reception, 7.29 yards per reception of anybody. Nobody's got a better one than him in post-game history. So I think he's good for 5, 6 catches. I think he's good for about 75 or 80 yards. He's a move-to-change type of guy, and I don't see that changing.
And now, moving on to some Chicago Bears news. Did you like the extension contract signing of Jay Cutler?
No, I didn't. I didn't like it at all. you're 30 years old. What you see is what you get. You smile a little bit more for the cameras this year, and you know what? You all of a sudden you're a nicer guy. You know, look. You know what you got in Andrew Luck. He's only going to get better. You know what you got with Russell Wilson because he's so young. He's only going to get better. I just couldn't see dumping $50 million into a guy when there was a quarterback on the bench who did as good a job, regardless of lack of name recognition or lack of starts. I thought that he found the right guy with Trestman. I think they could have used that $50 million guarantee plus the rest of that money that they're going to probably invest in him into the defensive side of the football. That being said, this is the guy they're going to ride with. I don't trust that the Bears will anytime soon be viable with him under center.
So there's no way Jay could ever lead us to a Super Bowl win?
Not unless Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford are leaving. I mean, guys, we got to remember who's in the division. Lovie Smith didn't make the playoffs 5 or 6 years, his last 6 years. But remember, Green Bay had a better ball club, and they had the best quarterback in football. So, you know, I mean, that's pretty tough. But that being said, it ended up costing him his job. Trestman didn't make it this year. He made some bad decisions on his own. But I think Detroit's going to be better. I think Green Bay definitely is going to have Rodgers hopefully all next year. And you still got to worry about, will Cutler throw the big interception? He came back. He was less than stellar, but they believed in him after they started out 3-0. The other 13 games didn't seem to matter. When they started out 3-0, they said, we have 13 games. Guess what? Didn't matter. 3-0, we got him. Then he got hurt. It's a joke. It was a safe signing for now, but I don't believe it's going to reach any kind of fruits of Super Bowldom, if you will.
Another hot topic in Chicago is the Wrigley Rooftops and the Wrigley Rooftop owners. Now, they how did the Cubs get out of that 10-year contract that was signed, and what do you think is going to happen?
Move the team if they don't like it. They sign a deal, stick to the deal.
Right.
Now, you know, all of a sudden now you want it because it becomes advantageous to you. Tom Ricketts doesn't know what he's doing. He sat in the bleachers as a kid, I guess saying to himself, I'm going to really suck as an owner. I'm going to hire Theo Epstein, who's not going to basically get anything done. I mean, this is ridiculous what's going on now.
Right.
I mean, we're clapping for Jeff Samardzija. I mean, you know, Starling Castro is a third or fourth guy in the team. Anthony Rizzo. I don't believe those are guys that you build teams around, and they signed them like they're going to be their big stars. So, you know, they got a mess on their hands right now, but I'm on the Rooftops owners side on this one. Don't sit down, sign a paper, and then try to get back because you're a big conglomerate.
What is your take on the White Sox this year?
Deplorable, horrid,
Yeah.
Bad organization, badly run. Kenny Williams, the one-hit wonder, 2005. Brooks Boyer, the marketing guy, who went to Notre Dame as a marketing guy. I hope they don't brag about that. I mean, they've gone down in attendance 7 straight years. Robin Ventura, a coddler. Viciedo, Alexei Ramirez, guys like that. They didn't get any better under him. I mean, I thought these guys were going to be farther along. The ball club lost 99 games. The extension was the anti-Ozzie extension. They went completely the other way from Ozzie Guillen. Too much the other way,
right,
to the point where there's no accountability. So I find them to be a deplorable organization right now.
And one last thing about the Chicago Bulls. What is your whole idea on this tanking idea that the Bulls should tank every game and they should get the highest draft pick possible? Are you in favor of that?
No, because there's no set guy.
Right.
I mean, there's no set guy. I mean, Jabari Parker has his moments. There's no question. Andrew Wiggins is coming along. But I haven't seen anybody. I mean, you take a kid first in the draft, and you end up screwing that up. And I think the Bulls want to win. I really do. They mishandled the Derrick Rose situation. That's another story for another day, guys. But I like the Bulls' makeup. I don't think they're going to tank. And who are you tanking for? There's no Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird type player out there. I mean, Doug McDermott's a great player, but do you tank for him? I mean, I guess it's up to the individual team. Maybe there's teams out there. I mean, Milwaukee's the team to me that needs more talent than anybody. You watch them; they play in like a cave out there in Milwaukee. They've got 8 wins. So, I mean, you got to be pretty bad if you're going to keep tanking to catch up with Milwaukee.
Are the Blackhawks going to win the Cup this year?
Yeah, I hope so. I think they're going to try to break that little thing, guys, where they can't repeat. You know, they have trouble repeating. They've won 2 in 4 years, but it's hard for teams to repeat. I think they're going to try to break that. There's no doubt that they party their brains out there in the summer. They pass around that Stanley Cup and they get crazy. And they came in, though, ready. They've hit a little bit of a wall of late, but they've gotten back on their feet a little bit. I think at times maybe they're like the Miami Heat. They get a little bored. Who knows? It's hard to bring it every night. Their goaltending, they've had injury problems with Crawford, but I think that will be set by the time they get there. They got a great coach and a great organization, and I think that they can get it done.
And before we let you go, where can people find your work online?
My friend, first of all, online, you can find me out at north2north.com, northtonorth.com. Tweet me at north2north at NORTH, the number 2 NORTH. I'm on from 5 to 8 on Fox Sports Radio, foxsportsradio.com. You could also get me on iHeartRadio and north2north.com. Goes right to it. Also, I write for the Daily Herald Tuesday and Friday and do their videos Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday also at dailyherald.com. So keeping myself busy.
Yes.
You guys sound like you got it all together. You know what? You sound like you're loose, ready to go, and you got a pretty good basketball team. You're playing some defense out there. So you work at Northwestern, too, along with Columbia, you guys?
Yeah, we're heard every Sunday morning from 3 to 6 a.m. on WNUR.
Well, that's great. Keep it up, man.
All
Keep
right.
it up, because you know what? Someday, you never know. I did it. You can, too. That's it.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike. We would love to have you on the show
Call me
again soon.
anytime you want, guys. I'm sitting here eating a bowl of M&Ms, watching Pardon the Interruption.
Okay, sounds good, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
All right,
Talk to
Ryan.
you
Thanks
soon.
a lot.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Mike North, and I guess he's going to be coming on our show more regularly.
That's
Wow.
a great interview.
Mom, I made it in life. I wish they had like hallelujah music. Mike North has said we could make it. Number 1 and number 2, call him anytime.
The Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.